Hi everyone, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing Dead Space 3 on Impossible difficulty. This is Chapter 13. It's entitled Reach for the Sky. So here's a high yield spot for the deployment of the scavenger bot right there. Now we're going to be going in here, accessing a bench, and getting an item or two. Actually, it's probably just one item, and before we get into these battles here, I would highly recommend getting either a force gun as a secondary weapon, or use what I have. I have the kinetic projector with the stasis coating on the projectiles. It's working well for me. When I equipped the force gun, it had hardly any damage output, and I tried to manipulate it a bit, but I don't think I had the accessories to do so, or the right combination of circuits. So I changed the force gun to the kinetic projector via an attachment, and it has a lot more damage output, and it's just like the force gun, and it's working out a lot better for me than the force gun, which I don't particularly care for anyway. So here's the first climbing sequence in this game. We're going to be doing quite a lot of this in this chapter. So just press up on the left analog stick and then L2. Now I like to do these sections without taking damage, but sometimes it's hard. So stay on this side here and then jump to the left, because if you're on the left originally, it's going to pull you to the right, and then the rock's going to hit you. So just do what I did right there. That'll pretty much guarantee you won't get damaged. When I say damaged, you'll be in the red, or quite possibly the yellow. You could be in the. I've been in the red a couple times. It's one hit from a rock. It's really bad. Now we have one more climbing section, but we don't have a checkpoint. So make sure that. I don't think there's any benefit of going to either one of these. It's just because there's two players sometimes, so co-op. But ideally, if you wanted to start at another section on the right, you could, rather than starting on this section. I don't know. I always pick the left side. That was a close call right there. Two close calls. So I don't know how that would play out if you were on the other side. I guess there would be advantages for going on the other side, but you could do it either way and not take damage. It doesn't matter which one you pick. It's not like if you pick the wrong one, you're going to get damaged. It's not like that at all. But we have a couple. I think there's one really cheap fight in this level, and it's the first fight. Just because the enemies have that breakneck speed at which they run, and there's hardly any places to stand that you could, have these enemies back off you. So the best thing to do is just, if you can't back off enough, just push them away from you and stasis them. Not only can we stasis now with, a regular stasis module, but we can also fire those rounds with the kinetic projector and have our rounds coated with stasis. It's really good, actually, and it doesn't take away from your stasis on your pack too. It's really nice. So unfortunately, every time you die, you'll have to do this ladder again and walk all the way back here. I don't know why they just didn't start the player at the ladder. So I don't even think I go for these boxes, because I'm going to get them after the fight. I just want to spawn the fight as quickly as I can. There's a guy with a pickaxe on the other side of that tent, and you can't shoot him, but you have to spawn him. You have to make him move. So I go over there, back off, and this is probably one of the best spots that I found to stand. It's because if you stand over to the right, as I was doing, you're going to have a couple of guys with the pickaxes who just materialize out of thin air over there. See how effective that is? Stasis these guys with that, with those stasis pierced rounds from the kinetic projector, and then just fire a seeker rifle bullet at them. It's really good. So there's just a lot of these guys, and you see to the right, we're going to have pickaxe foes coming over to there, from there rather. So the fact that I didn't take any damage here was very atypical. I died so many times on this part, and I had to restart this chapter quite a bit, and as a result, I'm very intimate and familiar with this chapter. But see that's the kind of stuff you have to put up with. That's the cheapness I was talking about. How these guys run at you like they're running a marathon just to cut your throat, and that's pretty much what it boils down to. So another guy right there. he lunged at me, and then there's going to be probably another couple of guys. You just have to watch out, listen for the sounds. This chapter will conclude with a boss battle, but it's very brief, since it's one of those battles where you just have to do a little, like, it's not a puzzle, it's just that you have to manipulate the environment. There we go. I actually forgot that guy hadn't spawned, but I was fully aware of that guy as a whole, because whenever I would run back here, I would always have to deal with that guy like the first thing. So the fact that I was dealing with him as a last enemy over here probably is why he was able to sneak up on me like that. So this is really cheap, and we throw that word around a lot, even I do. But cheapness, cheapness, it basically means something related. Watch this guy right here. He'll spawn over here, so I think I'm going to get him after. But when I think of cheapness, I think of something that's universally loved and hated with equal measure. So obviously this doesn't fall into that loved with equal measure aspect, but it's definitely hated with equal measure. Watch out for that guy. Just not this game is hated, it's just that some of the constructs in this game are very cheap. The enemies, their speed is just incredibly fast, and a little bit unfair since we're this character here and he doesn't move all too fast. But sometimes I can get away with using that roll to evade damage. Okay, so now we're going to be interacting with this here. You don't have to actually move the camera as I'm doing right there, but I did it anyway. I just wanted to see where the cogwheel was going. And now we're going to have our other teammates run into some Necromorphs down below. They're going to get overrun, and there's nothing we can do about it from up here. So just collect these boxes over here. And we're going to have some leapers. You'll see the leapers crawling along the crag over there to the right. This is not unfair though, because this is a fair fight in that we're just going to have guys walking towards us, and these leapers, nothing spawns behind you, and that's kind of what I hate sometimes in these battles when it'll happen up ahead, and I'll point it out when I think in a video prior to this, or maybe it was another video, I was saying that when you see enemies spawn, just do a 180, because the chances are that you're going to have more enemies spawning behind you. There's a good roll right there. But this is a very good weapon here, and I was having significant trouble just dealing with this section, and to be able to just shove these guys out of the way, it's really nice. At the distance I like to keep from the enemies, the kinetic projectile generally won't kill the enemies. It'll just knock them over, and they'll possibly lose a limb. But then I'll just hit them again with the kinetic projector, or just use a seeker rifle round, or just a plasma cutter round. So some more leapers coming over here. These guys mean business, so really watch out for these guys. They just love to just fly at you. And that guy got trapped behind that rock there. See how they did that tail whip right there? That's nothing new to Dead Space. And see, even more enemies spawned right here. So it's nice to just back off sometimes. Pretty much that's what we're doing, since even though there are pieces of this game that are cover-based shooters, kind of, this is not a cover-based shooter. You have to back off, use stasis. That's how Dead Space works. So now we're stomping on bodies. Now we're going to go to the next fight. I have 3 bots actually. You acquire a bot over here, the 3rd bot, and I restarted the chapter and it just gave me the 3rd bot because it saves all your data. There's also an exploit you can do with the bots. I'm not going to be doing it, but I know it exists, and I just want you guys to know if you want to do it. It's probably no harm, no foul. So no more enemies up here, but we have another climbing section. And this climbing section, I believe you're shooting enemies who are above you rather than having stuff falling on us. I think we'll have a sequence where we will need to stasis falling objects, but I don't think it's this one. Yeah, this one we're dealing with lurkers. This is pretty easy actually. I may get hit once or twice, but the seeker rifle takes them out with two clean shots. it's not as disorientating if that's a word. Probably not. Yeah, that was a clean hit by the game. That was a fair hit. I should have jumped to the left, as I'm doing now. When it says jump, you're only jumping from left to right. You're not jumping like upwards. And slipping is just unavoidable. You're going to slip from time to time. You don't take damage for slipping, fortunately. Okay, so now we're going to jump to the right and then continue our ascension up this mountain. Jump to the left. It's pretty standard stuff. And then I believe the next things we have to deal with are some exploders and some of the slasher enemies.
I just don't understand why he would try to kill you.
He blamed me for all the trouble.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to go to the left right here and deploy our bot. There's a great high yield area over here to deploy him. So just station him right here. And I actually bought the upgrade at the PSN store to make it only have the bot search for 5 minutes instead of 10, so I don't have to be waiting so long. And I also bought the bot upgrade so I get more resources every time they come back. It cost me $10, and I also laid down another $10 for the DLC Awakened. But I don't know. Anyway, it's just, I don't know, this is a great game and I'm having fun, so head back here. So you saw the exploder right there. See, this is an example of enemies spawning behind you. You don't want to fight that exploder and then have this guy in your back, so just fall all the way back. And then at the point we're at now, nothing can spawn behind us, so just watch out for this guy. If you're that close to him, I could have died right there. That was really lucky that I didn't die. But if you're right next to an exploder and you're like backed against a wall and you think you might be able to get out of it, just shoot the exploder, not that grenade thing. And then you might be able to toss a grenade at some enemies who may or may not be coming up on you. So there's a lot of resources here. I don't believe all the enemies are dead. I heard some enemies spawning up here, but I don't think they wanted to come. Yeah, see those exploders up there? I was waiting for them over here, but they never quite made it over here, so it may have been just the game not having enough control of the spawn to have them come all the way over here. I thought they would arrive any minute over here because they're pretty fast. That's the one misleading thing about those guys. They look slow because they're hobbled and they have that one grenade arm that they use as like a crutch. But damn, they're fast. They could get on you really quickly. And here I'm rotating the camera around me just because I simply don't trust this game to not have enemies spawn behind me. That was another close call. You really don't want to be that close when you're shooting those grenades. Especially on hardcore, you don't want everything to just be all for naught just because you made one mistake. But one mistake's all it takes on hardcore mode. So now I'm going to smash his bodies, get my loot. And I also mentioned, I didn't mention, but I wanted to say that I'm speeding up all the exposition stuff with the characters. Ellie's being kind of an ungrateful whiner at this point, but I think she's going to come around. I just remember Ellie as a really strong, stable character from the second game, and in this game, it's just like she's more reliant on people, and she's more of a crybaby. Anyway, there's a couple of boxes over here at the bench now.
So far, we're just at the cave.
Basically, now's your chance to make sure you have everything you want for the boss battle, although it's not going to be coming around the next corner, but we'll be coming to it eventually. But this is the last bench before the boss. And there's no suit kiosks in this level, so you can't be upgrading your armor or your stasis, which is unfortunate. Here's another box. See all these stasis drops that it gave me right here? I was like, why are they giving me all these stasis drops? And then I realized that this next section up here on the crag, we're going to have objects falling on us and we need to use stasis. So I have like 30 stasis things now. See all those? They're all like, each one of those is 3. So I probably only have like 20, but that's still a lot. I wish I had that much health or something. But yeah, I have been participating in a few microtransactions. Anyway, so stasis this thing, and then hop to the left. But I just wanted to say that I'm not, outfitting myself so greatly that you can't follow my guide, or that I'm quote unquote like cheating or something. It's not like that at all. I wouldn't even consider it a waste of money if you don't feel it's a waste of money. Because sometimes time is money, and I don't like standing around for 10 minutes when I can just have these bots come back at 5 minutes and, give them another $5 to have my resources doubled. Because I didn't pay full retail price for this game, so at about now, I've about paid full retail price. So that's one of the benefits of waiting, since I got this game a couple months after it came out. Okay, we have pukers here. These pukers are deadly, as they always are, and we have that slasher too. But the main thing here is that it's so hard to see in this snowstorm up here. You can, kind of depend on the screeches of the pukers to signify when they're going to throw their puke at you. See right there, I grabbed that puke and threw it back. I don't think it did a damn thing, honestly. It does, though. I mean, I think these guys, though, in particular, are the ones that have the higher HP. So these are not your standard puker. These are the elite pukers. And if anyone had no context for what I was saying there, they'd probably laugh their ass off. So you see how they just run at you? Got to really be careful of that. They look like some kind of swamp creatures from the depths of like a muddy swamp or something. So I like to stay to the left just because there's that rock for cover if I need some cover. Grabbed a body there on accident. I don't know what that was there. I think a body just blew. And I believe after this section we're going to be dealing with a minor puzzle. Also, in the very first video, I mentioned that the game intelligently applies your healing items. Like if you only have like 1 bar needed to be refilled, there's another high yield spot right there. If you only need like 1 bar, it doesn't use more than you need. But sometimes, even though I know that, I still just like to go in my inventory and manually apply it. Okay, so we've got our bots doing work for us. Now we're going to get this box over here. And this is where the ladder is over here. There's no more enemies. We're going to interact with this ladder. I think this is where the ladder is. Yes, there's the ladder. And then we're going to have one of our teammates get all anxious and worried, and Isaac's going to try to talk her down. A lot of emotion. The voice actors are really good, a good one for this role, I feel. But anyway, we're going to have to interact with this generator right here. And then I think I cut to where... No, I walk over to where the power station is, and then I think I just edited out until it turned blue, because it's a lot of talking involved. In this puzzle right here, the only things you need to move are the numbers 50 and 70. So just find those. And see where it says those are the 90s up top on the 2. There's a 70, and even though I get burned right there, yeah, I got burned. It doesn't take any damage away, but just keep moving the ones that say 70 and 50, and that's all you have to do, and then it'll work. So you get the 50 on one side, get the 70s on the other, and then you're all set. And then we're gonna have this long cutscene, which I fast forwarded for everybody's convenience, and then we are gonna be facing the boss. It's the Snow Beast. It'll be the 3rd time we're fighting this guy. But The most important thing to worry about on the snow beast is that immediately he'll charge you. So stasis him immediately, because otherwise you're just going to get overrun. And it's not even a hard battle either. It'll take you a few tries probably just to get the hang of what you're supposed to do. And again, this is in fast forward, and then it's all real time now. We're going to reunite with Ellie, but first of all, don't even try to go on the lift. It won't let you. Here's the boss. And like I said, he charges at you very fast. So stasis him. First thing you can do, just stasis him, and then what I like to do is go to the right of him and then take care of his lackeys. There's about 4 lackeys, and there's not an infinite number of lackeys. Anyone who watches my Ninja Gaiden videos knows how much I detest lackeys. But anyway, I do detest these lackeys, but they're not that big of an issue. We're just going to stasis them with this gun here, which has those rounds that are coated with a thin layer of stasis. And I think that this guy may be the last lackey. So once he's gone, try to stasis the boss so he can't do any tricky things while we're moving this generator right here. And basically, we're just trying to trap but this works really well actually. It's not gonna we're relying on a lot of luck or situational factors that exceed what the normal player can do. Just get him trapped on here. I need to move over there to get him over here so he can get trapped. So get him in the sights of the lasers, and then all of these are going to coil up around him, and then they're going to be they'll change from blue to solid black, and then you just go over here and hit the switch, and that's the end of the battle. It's that easy, literally. And then keep tapping the O button. Even though, see where it says O? Make sure you're tapping that or you're going to fail. And then that's the end of the battle, and he gives you some resources in a large pack. And there's one other high yield place over here to drop the bot. And I'll show you exactly where it is. I'm going to do a little bit of looting. And I'll show you where that one location is, and then I will let the rest of the video play out in real time so you can enjoy it if that's something you want to enjoy. Okay, see, I was having a bit of a difficult time finding it, but I'm going to head back to the boss right here. Okay, maybe not so quickly, but another box here. See, you collect all these boxes before you make your trek up the mountain, though. And this boss has the something parts box. Okay, so now I did a little investigating off screen, and now I know where the area is, just right over here, this area. Drop the bot, and then I will see you guys in chapter 14. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope not only this video is helping, but the guide as in totality is helping you defeat impossible mode. And we'll see you in the next chapter. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support.
You're a good man, Isaac. You did everything you could.
No, I didn't. I gave up, Ellie. I'm so sorry.
This must be the place. But how the hell do we find this Rosetta?
She must have a lab up there someplace. We should look for an office or a set of files, anything with her name on it. We can take that to the entrance. Come on.